Hello and welcome back to a brand new Carnage Gaming video. I'm going to show you all some insane attacking strats to secure rounds and get those bomb plants down and just give your team a better chance at winning. Let's start out on the A bomb site of Bind. This is going to be a Brimstone and Sage strat. You need a Brimstone and you need a Sage for this to work. There are some other characters that can help you with this strat, but these are the main ones. So this is something kind of basic. We've been seeing a ton of teams do this. First, I saw Shroud's team do this. Shroud and Skadoodle were doing this. So here are the Brimstone smokes that you want to start with first. First, U-Haul. Smoke off U-Haul so there are no gaps. You don't want them to be able to see off either of these sides. Next, you want to get the right side of this truck. This is going to block vision from heaven, and then the rest of the site will be blocked off with this last smoke. So these are the three smokes. You send those down, wait for them to pop, and then your team pushes up. Now here you can see they can't peek you from anywhere, so you only have a couple of corners to clear, and then you have sight. You do have to be careful of U-Haul. Usually I will put down a Molotov or something in U-Haul just to make sure we have that secured. And then let's just re-smoke this so I can show you as you push in the strat. So you get these smokes down. They don't even have to be exact, but just make sure there are no holes anywhere. And then you push up. Your Sage is going to want to wall right here. Your Sage wall is right here in this area, and then you can plant the bomb without having to worry about anybody pushing you. The only areas they can come from then are U-Haul and from mid. This entire spot will get walled with one wall. You got to make sure there aren't any gaps. Then you plant. Your team can back off, and then you need to make sure you control mid and also control U-Haul. So a lot of times I like to use AoE and U-Haul, toss down any Molotovs, smokes, anything there just to stop them from pushing, and then have a couple of people just watching mid because this is the side that they're the most likely to come from, pushing through the B side. This is how to take A site of Bind. Let's head on over to the B site attack. Now here you do still want Brimstone, but there are a couple of different options that you can do with some other characters. So first off, you need Hookah control for this strat to work. So as you push through, you're going to want to probably AoE this side of Hookah. Just do something to clear out one of these spots so you know that they are not there. And then you have Hookah control. Now with Hookah control, there are a couple smokes you're going to do, which we will be getting to in just a sec. So now that you have control of Hookah, you're going to want to get up against this box so that you're not peeking anything. And your Brimstone is going to want to pull out his smokes. The first area you need to smoke is elbow. Now next you have an option here. Personally, I like to smoke off this side of the box and this side of the box. We see that these smokes, as they go down, you're going to wait for them. They go down, and now there is really nowhere that they can peek you from. They could be on top of this box, but other than that, you should be good. So here you're going to want to clear out under here, make sure there's nobody pushed up long, and then you can plant either right here in this corner or right here in this one. This one's definitely the safer one, so I would go for this. And honestly, just make sure they don't push through the smoke. Have your team hold. A Sage wall and elbow can do a lot. It is very, very important if you can get that down to do that, even while it's smoked. And then your next option is you have Hookah control. You're going to want to smoke off elbow. You're going to want to smoke off back in halls and then smoke off right here. Now this leaves just one opening, and I'll explain why here in just a sec as these pop. This makes it so that someone that's in halls isn't able to easily push out, and it still protects you from this little cubby corner angle. This is such a powerful angle to play because you can peek out long and Hookah. So now the only area you have to focus on is this left side, and you can just clear this corner, clear through everything, peek through, and then get bombed down right here. Again, Sage walling this elbow position is super important and super useful, as well as using AoE through labs or halls in order to make sure they can't push through super easily. After post plant, depending on which side you plant, here's how you set up. If you post plant right here, you're going to want to set up in Hookah and just kind of hide there, play for defuse, stuff like that. And also maybe have a guy long that can play out. And then if you plant right here, this is a plant for long, so I would have at least two people just push through this long area, make sure you have control over it, and then just wait for that defuse noise, and you're able to just peek out and easily get the kill. Now these are the two best ways to attack the Bind sites. Let's head over to Split and talk about how to attack those sites. So now we're going to be attacking the A bomb site. This is going to be another Brimstone Sage combination. These two are super powerful on attacking side, taking over these bomb sites. So here are the smokes you're going to want to set up first. Standing in this corner allows you to see a lot of the map here. So you're going to want to first smoke off ramps, which is up here in the heaven area. And then I either like to smoke off all the way through here, which could leave a little gap, or even heaven side. So this kind of isolates the site as best as possible. So here if we push up, we see they can't peek you from there. and now heaven and screens is smoked, but it's not the greatest smoke. You kind of have to learn how to line that one up. And what you can even do, you can even smoke off ramp and then push up to here and completely smoke off screens. That's the best option, but getting the heaven smoke down as well is super important, because with heaven being smoked, the only spot that you have to worry about is checking this corner and then clearing out sight, which is pretty easy to do if you have multiple teammates coming in. You can just clear through, make sure they're not on here, and then you have that plant. Now, as you take control of sight, that Sage is going to want to make a play to make a wall. So here, the wall can either go right here and block off screens, so you don't have to worry about that, or an even better one is walling off heaven. Now, the heaven wall is kind of hard to hit, but you can get it from about right here. If you could wall off heaven, and then you only have to worry about a long and screens, that's super, super useful. And then also, as you clear sites with Brimstone, you can do things with your Molotovs in order to ensure stuff is clear. So let's say you push up to here, you smoke off that ramp area, that heaven area, and that screen room. You can pop those, go through. You don't know where people are going to be, so just clear this with a Molotov. I obviously missed the Molotov. You just got to bounce it off the box. There we go. Now you know someone's not going to be here because they will obviously be taking damage. And then they either have to push out, you know that's clear, you don't even have to check it, and then you can push onto site. Be sure to use those Molotovs effectively. Let's run on over to B site, which is actually going to be kind of a mid push. It's kind of a split B and A, or split mid and B push, sorry, excuse me there. Basically, you're going to want to have 2 mid and 3 in tunnels. So the Brimstone is going to want to be either tunnels or mid. It doesn't really matter, but the Brimstone is going to need to see heaven and this CT side. So Brimstone is going to want to throw down his smoke about like right back here. It's kind of a weird smoke to get, but you need to do it pretty far back in order to make sure it stays up top. It's kind of weird. Again, maybe it's a little further back than that. Let me restart this. So here you're going to want to go to this line and kind of move it over a little bit, put it right there, and then also get CT smoked off. Now what this is going to look like through the tunnels is as you push through, you do still have to check your corners. You still have to make sure that sight's clear. But we can see that heaven can't be peeked from. And then if we keep pushing through, CT is completely smoked off. So you can't see anything from there. You just have to clear back sight, and then you have a plant. Now the mid players, what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to put an AoE down in vents and then push mailroom at the same time so those smokes go down. So mid players are obviously going to peek through here at mid. They're going to be clearing stuff, making sure everything's good. You're going to want to get an AoE down in vents so they can't push you. A Molotov, whatever, anything that you have. And then you're going to want to push mailroom together, trying to get a trade on someone in heaven, check your corners, and then take sight with your team. This should be smoked off while you are there. So as you push up, this smoke will be here, but hopefully that takes off the attention from you and makes them try and focus on sight, trying to peek out from somewhere and get a kill. And then you can even push through here in CT and try and go for a kill there. These are 2 pretty good strategies. Again, they revolve around these Brimstone smokes, which are just so useful. And now let's hop onto Haven and figure out how to take those sites. So here on Haven, Brimstone isn't as useful. I would prefer playing Omen instead, but it is still good to have someone that can get those smokes down on your team. So on the A-bomb site, first getting a Cypher camera down. Right now the Cypher camera works. I'm not sure if it does work later in patches, but as of recording this works. You can get a camera up in this tree and see down long. If nobody's peeking it, you can just cross over, get your 2 players to short, because you want 2 in short at least, and then your other 3 going long. Now, if there is somebody peeking it, what you can do is you can get a smoke down with somebody, an Omen, even a Phoenix wall, just anything to obscure the vision so that your players can get to short without the other team knowing. And then you're going to want to push up, get this pick long if you can. If not, you're going to want to keep on going. And now is where the smokes are going to really come in play. First, you're going to want to smoke off heaven. You're going to want to smoke off left side sight, and even CT if you do have enough. Now this is going to be super important because 1, heaven can easily kill players that are pushing from long. And then if you can smoke off this left side sight, you can kind of isolate just this one side and peek through here like that. And then as you take sight after all those smokes, your players should be pushing through short. You can use this Sage wall to do one of 2 things. You can either wall off heaven just like this. You place the wall down. Now they can't peek heaven at all, which is super useful. Or if you're able to, you can get it all the way through here into the CT area. That way, they can't push through CT, they can't really see anything, they don't have that info, and they have to break something. It really just depends on which you think is going to be more useful during that game. Even if you just barely have sight and they're still pushing up, you can do things like wall off one side of the site like this, so then they can't push from there and you can isolate. Basically, you just want to get a wall down somewhere. There's going to isolate more angles. Again, this is kind of your first option at heaven. CT is another really good option. And then this wall over here, or even right here, depending on what kind of situation you're in. And then again, use your slows. You can toss one back here to just slow them down there. That's why I like walling off heaven. It's because it's much easier to wall off heaven and then just toss a slow back here and just be able to chill and let that slow do its work. After post plant, hopefully planted for long, you can just come sit back long, do your thing, watch the flank, and then you should be good. Now, B site, smokes are a little more important because you need at least 2 in order to effectively take the site. I still prefer playing Omen instead of Brimstone on Haven though, just because the distance is not very good. Like if you're right here, Omen is not able to effectively smoke all of B site, whereas Omen is. So you're going to want to take mid control by peeking this, maybe have a couple people push through here to hold garage. As you push through, you're going to want to smoke, if we look here on the map, right here and right here, in C-Link and A-Link, on the C and the A side. Now after we've pushed up some, checked all of our corners, Sage is going to want to wall off one of these sides. We'll just do C for instance. You're going to want to push through, make sure back of sight is completely clear, and then get that bomb plant down for mid. Now what this does is this makes sure that nobody can push from this side unless they break the wall, and then everything is smoked so they don't have that vision of trying to kill you from getting into sight. A lot of times their A player will be a fast rotate, stand on this corner, and shoot towards the site, and this completely eliminates that possibility because they're going to be smoked off, they can't see anything. After you get bomb plant down, just use your AoEs to get wherever you need, a fire down on one side, whatever, and then also watch that mid flank, keep mid control as best as possible, because they do like to flank, especially after you use a lot of AoE to stop them from pushing different areas. Haven C site though, we don't really use Sage, Brimstone, or Omen that much. It's actually going to be a lot of Phoenix. Phoenix is really good for taking C long, and here is why. First, in order to gain C long control, especially later in the rounds, you're going to want to flash out here. So you can either shoot a breach flash, preferably like right here at this line, or just a Phoenix flash right outside, and then have your team peek it and take control. Next, you're going to want a Viper or a Phoenix wall off right here at this right side. A Viper wall can go all the way through right here, and then a Phoenix can get right up to here and just wall this off. That way your team will be able to just walk through here and clear this out without any of this being seen. Imagine there's one big wall right here, a Viper smoke going through, then you can plant for long, get a free plant down, have some people holding the smoke, and then you're able to just fall back from there. Now, one player should come garage and clear through that kind of late after the 4 go long. This just adds a little more pressure to the other team and keeps you unpredictable. If you have one player that just walks through here, and then as that wall goes up, they just kind of peek through and try and get a pick here, that's super, super useful. And then a Cypher can put tripwires anywhere he wants, and a Sage wall in CT goes a very long way. You can place this wall however the heck you want. Personally, I like to just kind of toss it up here. That way they can't peek over it, because now they have to jump in order to peek. Harder to see. And then you have the site. This has been how to attack all of the bomb sites. If you like this type of video, let me know. I'm kind of just taking these in one take, trying to show you all the different things you can do to hopefully improve your game a little bit. Again, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, leave me feedback in the comment section down below, any video ideas. Also, thank you to this person. I probably threw up this comment at the start of the video for giving me this idea, but thank you for that very, very much. Sorry I didn't shout you out at the very beginning. I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.